All right, tonight's homework is on types of topic sentences. At the end of today's assignment, you're going to be able to identify several types of mastery topic sentences and 2 types of expert topic sentences with a little bit of practice along the way. All right, let's get started. In last night's homework, if you want to go and look at your whisk from last night, you wrote down the definition of a topic sentence, which basically is the intro to a paragraph that really contains no details. You're just stating what the paragraph's going to be about. Today we're going to look at 3 different types of mastery topic sentences, and those are simple declarative, number statement, and questions, and then an expert topic sentence or 2 called situation stance and the 3-point topic sentence. You also might have heard it referred to as the 3-point topic or 3-point thesis, but that's generally when we're writing an essay. So both of these are really great options if you're trying to elevate your writing. You will practice all of these types of sentences in tonight's homework. So in total, just about 5 sentences in the homework tonight. And then also you will be going to write your summary like normal, as well as the question. Don't forget, today in class we talked about how to make your question that much better using the HOT idea or Bloom's taxonomy. So please refer to that handout I gave you in class today when we finally get to the end of today's presentation, and I want you to do the summary and question. Also, I gave you a word bank at the top of your whisk tonight to help with the number statements and starter words to help if you just honestly can't figure out how to get going with the small prompts that I've given you. So refer to that at any time to help you get started. All right, let's begin. So the first type of mastery sentence that we're going to be talking about is a simple declarative sentence. It's just basically stating the topic. So if you could go ahead and write down right next to the pencil what it says there in your notes, that'd be great. You do not necessarily have to write down the examples, although it might be a good idea just to remind yourself later of what these types of sentences are. So examples are simple. Dogs make the best pets. What's that paragraph going to be about? Dogs making the best pets. I mean, it can't get more simple than that. I think the only reason that this maybe isn't in the proficient category is just simply because I am allowing you to create the sentence instead of giving you a sentence frame or something. So these are very simple, and I want you to go ahead and practice. So please pause the video and complete the following activity, writing on this simple prompt for a simple declarative sentence. What is the most nerve-wracking thing about the first day of school? Pause the video now and go ahead and write a simple sentence for me, and then resume the video when you're done. Okay, the second type of sentence that we're going to talk about is the number statement. It is a declarative sentence, a simple sentence, just like in number 1, but it's just slightly different, or a variation of it, because it uses a number word to elevate the sentence. So instead of just saying dogs make the best pets, you would say something like dogs make the best pets for several reasons. Several being in pink, showing you that that's the number statement that's allowing that sentence just to sound a little bit better. So I want you to go ahead and practice this one now. Don't forget in your whisk that you have a word bank for this specific topic sentence. So you can use one of those words in that word bank if you want to. And the prompt for this one is, what are some of the most boring things about the first day of school? So you just wrote a sentence about the most nerve-wracking things, but what's boring? Pretty much for the most part, the teachers are talking about the same thing, where to turn in assignments, what their grading policy is like, all of those kinds of things. So if you want to give it a shot and see if you can come up with a nice simple sentence that uses a number statement, please do that now. Pause the video and come back when you're done. Now, you just wrote a sentence, hopefully for the number statement, and I want you to go back and double check and see what you wrote. There are a couple of things I want you to be careful about when it comes to number statements. You really want to try to avoid using there are or here are at the beginning of your sentence. Check your sentence you just wrote. Did you do that? Did you start the sentence with, here are a few of the reasons why school is so boring on the first day? If you did, can you go back and fix it for me? I want you to try and avoid these things. Instead, try to remember to use the who, how, what, where, when mentality. If you look at the examples from the previous one, none of them started with there are or here are. It's just something that people tend to write over and over and over again, and we want you to try and use something else. So, an example here, there are 3 great places to camp in the summer in Oregon. That's starting with there are. So how can we change it? Take the there are off and see if you can make the sentence better. So the example says, campers have 3 great summertime campsites to choose from in Oregon. That is much more preferable than starting with there are or here are. So please be careful about that in the future. Okay, the third type of sentence we're going to talk about is a question statement. This is basically where you ask a question that you're going to answer in your paragraph. We have to be really careful with these question statements for a couple of reasons. The first one, you have to make the question more complex answer with an answer than yes or no. If the question you're asking has an answer of yes or no, it's not complex enough. You need to go back and rewrite it. That's one way to elevate the question. And you also have to think about the fact that there are a lot of teachers out there that simply hate the question statement at the beginning of any writing. A lot of them think it's kind of the lazy man's way out. I'm not trying to steer you away from the question, but let's try and use it sparingly. Because again, there's a lot of teachers out there that don't necessarily like it. I think the only way to get around using a question is, like I said, to make the answer to your question more complex than yes or no. So if you look at my examples, why do dogs make great pets? Is that a yes or no answer? No, you're going to have several reasons to answer in the actual paragraph. So that's what you need to start thinking about. And we're going to do a practice. I just couldn't fit it on this little slide. So question statement practice. Here's what we're going to do. I would like for you to just write a question sentence on the following prompt. What makes summer fun? And again, I want you to ask the question, but the answer to the question needs to be more complex than a yes or no answer. Pause the video and go ahead and do that now. All right, now we're moving on to expert sentences. This first one is called the situation stance. I can't help but laugh and think about the Jersey Shore when I say the situation, but that's not really what we're talking about here. So this sentence has 2 different parts. The first part just broadly introduces the topic. This is the situation that you're going to be writing about. It gives a general hint about what's to come in the paragraph, and it can't stand alone. It's a dependent clause. We're trying to build a complex sentence here, including a comma, so please be careful and make sure that it's not a full independent clause. Now, part 2 is going to state your viewpoint on the topic. It narrows the topic down a little bit, and it can stand alone. This is an actual full thought, a full independent clause. So I've given you a couple of examples here. Let's look through them. So first, it says, even though I like all holidays. That's the situation. You're letting the reader know that you're going to be talking about holidays in this paragraph. However, after the comma, you notice that the 4th of July, it says the 4th of July is my favorite. So that's leading you down to a narrowed viewpoint of the topic because you're stating your opinion. So odds are the rest of the topic, even though it's a topic about holidays, is going to be about the 4th of July and why it's your favorite. So what I would like for you to do for this activity is to go ahead and write these sentences out, and in 2 different colors. If you can pause the video and find 2 different colors of pens or markers, I want you to underline and label the 2 different parts, the stance and the situation. And then also, if you can go ahead and circle or put an arrow pointing to where the comma is, I just really want you to figure out all the different parts of this style of sentence. Okay? Once you're done with that, go ahead and start the video again. All right, sentence type number 2 is what we call a 3-point topic sentence, and it has 3 main points, hence the name. So first of all, you're going to state your topic. Then you're going to state your viewpoint. At this point, this is very similar to the sentences you just looked at. What you're going to do next, however, which makes this the 3-point topic sentence, is list the main ideas that you're going to talk about in the paragraph. This usually is referred to as the comma, comma, and part of the sentence. Because you're going to list things, use a comma, list, comma, and then list your final and third thought. So here's an example. Most people really look forward to summer vacation. Personally, after a few weeks, I get really bored. I can't see my friends every day. I like to be mentally challenged, and really, there's only so much daytime TV a person can watch. So you'll notice one of the reasons that this is in the expert category is you've got a lot of things going on as far as internal punctuation. This is a compound complex sentence, meaning it's got several dependent and independent clauses happening. There's some commas, a semicolon, and I'm listing out all of my ideas. So I've definitely done all 3 steps. I'd like for you to go ahead and try this one on your own. Notice that I do have pencils here. I wanted you to write down all the stuff at the top there. You don't necessarily have to write the example unless you feel like it would be helpful later on. And then I want you to go ahead and write your own sentence. The prompt is technology in the classroom a good idea? Why or why not? So you need to state the topic, state your viewpoint on the topic, and list the 3 things that you would potentially talk about if you're going to continue on and write the entire paragraph. Remember, I'm just asking you to write the topic sentence, not the entire paragraph. So stop after you get through all 3 steps, okay? Go ahead and start the video again once you're done with that. Holy cow, you're done. You're now done with tonight's homework. So hopefully you can identify all of the different types of sentences. So when we start writing our summaries in class, you're really aware of what type of topic sentence you're using, and try and vary it up a little bit. You don't always have to do a situation stance sentence. Sometimes you can ask a question. It's really all up to you, and that's what helps make it better for the reader when you vary it up. So please remember to go back into your whisk and do the summary for tonight's video and ask one question, and you'll be completely finished. I'll see you tomorrow.